Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Well, today we're going to talk about the differences between buses and coaches. Many people haven't heard of the word coach before, and I don't mean a sports coach or a man who trains you to do something. I'm talking about a type of bus. So, a bus is something which takes you from one place to another. For example, I can go outside of my house, catch a bus, and go to the local shopping centre, or even go to the bus station where the buses begin and where they end. Some people, by the way, call that bus station a coach station. So what is the difference then? Well, the small services that I can take from outside of my house to a particular place, they're called buses. The larger versions of those, and they usually look quite nice, are called coaches. So the local bus is when I have to carry all my bags and walk up the steps and hope that there'll be room for me to sit down. That is a bus. A coach, on the other hand, if you walk past it, you'll see that it has a massive compartment underneath where you can keep all of your suitcases and bags, so they're out of the way before you even get on the coach. Coaches tend to take us from one place to another, but those places usually have a great distance between them. For example, if I want to travel from London to Glasgow, I won't be on a bus, I'll be on a coach. If I want to travel from, London to France, I can go by coach. So you see, coaches are bigger and are designed for longer journeys. Now, how do we use these terms in English? It can get a little bit confusing. Let me explain. So I was talking to my English friend the other day, and I told him that I was going to London. And he said, "Oh, really? How are you going to London? What way will you travel?" And I said to him, "Oh, I'm going to go by bus." And he said, "What bus? Won't that stop every 2 minutes? And you have to keep your bags and by your feet, and there'll be a lot of people around you. That's crazy." And I had to tell him, of course, no, I mean coach. Coach is direct. It doesn't have any stops. Well, maybe major stops, halfway, for example. I think there's actually a law which says that if you travel more than 4 or 5 hours, the driver has to stop to take a rest. And so you can get off the bus, and usually they stop at a restaurant or a service station where you can relax for half an hour, and they tell you when you have to come back. So that's basically a coach. So in English vocabulary and in English speech, if you talk about a bus, in people's minds, they will think that you're going to be traveling for a long distance very uncomfortably. So, for example, I'm taking a bus to school, people would understand that. But if you say that you're taking a long trip on a bus, people might think, don't you mean a coach? Yeah, so there's a little bit of confusion by that. And there's also more confusion because in different parts of the UK, the word coach isn't used. So, for example, in the northern part of the UK, everything's just called a bus. Nobody calls the big buses coaches because everybody knows what is meant by the word bus. You know, like, for example, if you say, "Oh, I'm going from Glasgow to London on the bus," nobody thinks about it. But in other parts of the UK, particularly around London, you would have to be quite specific about coach and bus. Otherwise, people get a little bit confused. So, these are two very different things, okay? The bus and the coach. Even a local bus station, some people call it the coach station, some people call it the bus station, but they are two very different things. So, to recap then, the bus takes you short journeys and is usually a little bit uncomfortable with people jumping on and off all the time. And also, coaches are big and more luxurious. But how you use those words is kind of up to you. But obviously, to use coach would be more exact and specific. But not everyone does see a difference between them. When we talk, it can be quite, these words can be quite interchangeable. It depends who you're talking with. Okay, so that's buses and coaches. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let's talk again soon. Bye bye.